The idea for this came to me on a whim while I was painting. I like to listen to podcasts or video essays whenever I paint, and I stumbled upon this video from this girl where she was talking about how less earnest YouTube has become lately. And even though her video was about like a bunch of other stuff, it really spiraled me into thought about my relationship with posting on YouTube, because I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. I've been posting videos on YouTube. It started off because I love video making. I love filmmaking. That's what I'm choosing to do as a career. And it was just a fun way for me to basically have a creative outlet in that sense. I've been on this platform for a very long time, and as of lately, I've begun to think of it differently due to my position as creator, not just consumer. What I've noticed is that after I started making videos and after I've established that it's a process that I really enjoyed, it became easy for me to churn out content because as a Gen Z, it's not hard for me to understand algorithms. With my video making, I've noticed my passion decline significantly in the past few months. At first, I started blaming it on my mental health, which was not the best. And people who have struggled with mental health issues, especially artistic people, it becomes very hard to create when you're not in a place of balance mentally. But what I've realized, especially in light of listening to the video I just mentioned, was that after I got monetized, I think it's best if I do a little, how would you even call it? A little background information about my history with YouTube. So I started watching YouTube when I was about 7 years old, which was in 2012. And I first opened a YouTube channel in 2014, where I used to post very silly videos with my littlest pet shops and like My Little Pony figurines, where I used to direct them into skits and movies, because that was similar to the content that I consumed as a kid, obviously. And after a while, I shut my channel down because it wasn't the most well received in my circle of communication in school. And in late 2022, when I was applying at film schools, I had to make a short film. But in order to make the distribution process of it more easy, I decided to post that on YouTube. So that was my first YouTube video after my channel's revival. And posting that video for almost like necessity's sake allowed me to do something that I've wanted to do since I first shut my channel down, which was start posting again. After that, in the following months, I posted videos here and there. I was at boarding school at the time, so I decided to do a boarding school vlog. And I noticed how fun it was. I noticed how tedious the editing process was, and ultimately how shit the video was. But making a shit vlog gave me hope that my next one would be less bad. And so, actually, I think it was my 5th ever video on YouTube since my channel's revival, and my 3rd boarding school vlog that blew up. It has, I think, around 170,000 views, and from it came a lot of people. However, the vlog that I posted then was 2 months before I would graduate school and obviously leave boarding school. So a lot of the people that came to my channel from that video were expecting more of that video, which makes sense. However, I was not in a position to post any more videos simply because I wasn't there anymore. This is one point where I think algorithms sort of destroy creativity, because with the rise of TikToks and with how easy it is to go viral on short-form content apps, people are used to trends and people are programmed to respond to seeing the same video over and over and over again, because us as humans like familiarity. So when we see something that we've seen before, our brain recognizes it as something familiar, so we're more attracted to interact with it. That's why on TikTok, you have people who do a dance, it goes viral, and then they keep posting the same exact dance over and over and over again, tens of times, and their videos do just as well. So their account blows up, and they gain followers. This wasn't the case for golden age YouTube, if we can call it that, where right now on TikTok, for example, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. You could have 300 followers or 300,000, and your video has as much chance of blowing up regardless of your follower count. Yet, on YouTube, there used to be almost this correlation between the number of subscribers that you had with the number of views that you would get. That's why a lot of people focused on raising their subscriber count, because it would guarantee a certain amount of views. However, now most of the content that people consume is stuff fed to you by the algorithm. You watch videos of people you don't even follow, and that amounts for the majority of the content you consume, which is why, as I said before, subscriber count really does not matter, or follower count is genuinely a redundant number in predicting how well your content is going to do. But now with content being so replicable, and obviously I'm talking about two different forms of content, in short form and long form, but I do think that they intertwine with one another, like from an algorithm standpoint, if that makes sense. So when I started posting boarding school vlogs and they garnered a lot of attention, the people that came to my channel didn't come for me because they have no idea who I am. So they came for the boarding school experience, which after a short period of time, I couldn't provide anymore. So I guess that was the first disheartening moment where I felt so frustrated that it wasn't up to me whether or not I could create the content that people wanted to see. Also, the way that the algorithm has affected me and my creativity has been with growth tactics. So in order to grow on social media, you need to be very consistent with your postings. There's different statistics out there, but from my understanding, in order to grow on YouTube, you need to post one video a week. In my attempt to do that, especially lately, I've found myself incredibly frustrated. The way that I create is very instinctive. So like, for example, even this, setting this up, it just came to me that I have stuff to talk about and I want to have a way to share it. So that's why I'm deviating from the normal content that I'm used to producing into something more relaxed. And I don't want to say low effort, because I don't think effort is directly proportionate with quality, but something more low-key in a way, something less high in production value. And that's because whenever, especially this summer, and I'm saying especially this summer because I've gained some new self-awareness and I've been observing my actions a bit more intently. So that's why I was able to get to this conclusion essentially. But every time that I set out to be consistent with my videos, I would make maybe a 4-week video plan or a 2-week video plan. And I would be like, okay, this Sunday, I will post this video that I have the footage of. So I just have to edit it. And then next week, I'm going to do this other video. And then the week after that, I'll come up with something. And then eventually, when those videos ideas would end and I would be stuck at a point where I didn't have any idea, I would just grab my camera and film something just so that I would have content to post. And that is not the way that I operate as a creator. And maybe this is not the most sustainable thing, especially when looking at content creation as a career, because then you do have to create content regardless of whether you feel like creating or not. But from my standpoint, where I do this as a hobby, I struggle with creating when I'm not doing something because I want to, but because I feel like I have to. What I'm saying is, for example, last Sunday, I didn't have any video to post for that week. So I decided to do an easy daily vlog. And while I had fun filming it, every time that I sat down to edit it, I couldn't bring myself to focus for more than 20 minutes. And I can assure you, this is not because of my attention span, because whenever I edit videos that I feel passionate about, I get into a flow state and I could sit at my desk for 5-6 hours on end without getting up and finish the whole video in one sitting. This wasn't the case, and every time that I would sit down, I would get frustrated. This was also not the first time that I experienced, and I wouldn't even call it creative block because editing is quite technical, so I can just edit a video and post it, but I have this irky feeling within myself that I don't feel pride towards what I'm creating. And I want to feel proud of my work. And I guess I have to feel proud of my work to be able to share it. And this is going to sound so silly, but obviously content on social media is very curated. Even this podcast, video, whatever, even though it seems like it's just me speaking in a very relaxed manner. I mean, I'm laying in my bed. I'm in my house clothes. I don't know if any other people besides Eastern Europeans have house clothes, but if you're Eastern European, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Even this video is very curated because while I'm editing it, I can cut out mumbles. I can cut out pauses. I can give myself an added layer of coherency that I wouldn't have if I just plainly re-recorded this and posted it straight away. This is especially relevant when crafting vlogs, where I have so much power in editing that when you see the video, it might seem like something ordinary, nothing too crazy, but only I know that I've switched days around if it's a weekly vlog, for example. I've cut clips in order to give them an extra context that they didn't have while I was filming, and other basic editing stuff. And I'm not saying that I've been inauthentic or not 100% myself in my videos. I want to believe I have. However, it's myself behind a screen, and I feel like oftentimes there's a sentiment of fear regarding the possibility of showing my true 100% unaltered self, which is an obvious reaction considering that every day when we open our phones, we're flooded by content of people who have their life together, look extraordinary, do insane things on a day-to-day basis, travel the world, and we fail to acknowledge most of the time that it's a very curated image. And I guess that's why I've been struggling with crafting vlogs and posting vlogs, just because I feel like there's so much. The only word that comes to mind is trickery. I don't think it's the best suited word, but there's a lot of manipulation that happens behind the screen, which right now, at this point in my life, I can't bring myself to do. And I'm saying this knowing that in a week's time or in 2 weeks' time, I'm probably going to post a vlog again. But it dawned on me how dependent crafting a good vlog is on living an exciting life and on being in a good mood. Because when your life is through a more stagnant period, through a period of reflection perhaps, it is harder to create an interesting, entertaining vlog. Because people, and I'm saying this from like a general consensus perspective, if this isn't true, please argue with me in the comments. But I think that subconsciously, people crave high production videos like vlogs about insane travel or party experiences or whatever, because it is a way of escaping. And I don't think that people respond as well to more low production, nothing is really happening type vlog. Obviously, we have the example of Emma Chamberlain, who's made a whole career on being very real and very authentic on camera. But besides Emma, I can't really think of other people who do it. And it's because it's become, first of all, it's become her brand. And then I do think Emma Chamberlain did revolutionize the way that vlogs are made and videos on YouTube in general, because people do feel more comfortable with showing an added layer of themselves. But I don't think every person who is mildly honest on camera is in the way that Emma is. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I'm making too much sense. But what I meant to say is I feel like everything is so edited and unrealistic that when I remove myself from my position as creator, and I think as a consumer, I'm finding it very hard, first of all, to relate to those videos, and then to continue on watching them without ending up at a point where I feel shit about myself and about my life. And I'm the biggest advocate for feeling and expressing gratitude, but it's truly hard not to compare yourself and your life when you're constantly surrounded by highly curated images of other people's highlight reel, basically. And I'm not saying anything revolutionary. As of recently, I found myself contributing to that narrative, which was very, very bad for my mental health, because even when I was hanging out with some of my closest friends, especially here back home, and they would point stuff out like, wow, Sophia, how's London? It seems like the most incredible place and the most incredible opportunities. And your life just seems so cool and your friends seem so cool. And wow, you're really living the dream. And while yes, I feel insanely lucky to be surrounded by the people that I am, or to have the opportunity to live in London in the first place, there's so much behind the scenes that people just don't see. And it's not their fault. Like, everything that I choose to post is in order to, I don't even know how to approach this, because I wanted to say in order to romanticize my life, but romanticizing your life for the sake of other people's watch on it, is that truly romanticizing it? I don't know. Yeah, it just got me thinking about how I make vlogs in order to like display the highest highs of my week or of my day, and in a way almost convince myself that, I don't even know, I lost my train of thought. I just wish that we could all go back to the 2010s, when social media was so low-key and everybody could post whatever they wanted, and YouTube videos were so cute and cool, and people would just do the most random videos ever, and it didn't mean much. And I think the main like factor that changed it is the fact that social media can become your career now, and there's a lot of money at stake. So for people whose career is content creation, there's a different approach to it, to just doing it for passion. And I'm sort of in the middle of this because my channel is monetized and I do make some money from YouTube, but it's not an insane amount. So it's still my hobby and I still do it because I want to. But I know that if I post a video and it does well, I will get financial compensation from it, which in this economical, I don't know if crisis is the appropriate word, but in this tumultuous time in our economy, any money is welcome. So I think ultimately what I'm having is a wave of nostalgia for my innocent perception of YouTube when I was younger. Just, yeah, I guess from now on, I'm just gonna try to put myself in the shoes of my younger self when I first started YouTube and create content just for the sake of pleasure and passion, and not focus on numbers or statistics or posting 7,000 videos a week just so that the algorithm recognizes me as a worthy creator. It brings me some sort of consolation to know that I'm not alone in this. And that comes at the cost of seeing my favorite childhood YouTubers not post anymore because the platform has changed. And I'm not saying it's changed for the worse or that change is bad in any way. I guess ultimately, as I've just said, I'm craving a taste of a simpler life. I saw this TikTok today, which is so ironic, getting this information from a TikTok, but it said that if you turn your phone off, it's still 2011 outside. Which in some way is true, in some way it's not. But I guess the one thing that I would prescribe to myself or to anyone else who's also feeling like me is a phone detox. Because I don't know about you, but my brain is going to explode if I keep consuming content at the rate that I have been. I guess I'm going to attempt in switching out my TikToks for books. God, I just sounded like my mom, but oh my God, you know what I mean. I think I just need a juice cleanse before my brain. If anyone knows what that would be, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. That's all I've got for today. Let me know if you resonated with anything that I've spoken about. Also, please let me know if we vibe with this kind of content. And I hope you have a good day. Bye.